Hi there folks. A while ago I did a video on how you can test a stator on a Honda CB400N and the CB450 DX's models, around late 70s to mid 80s bikes, and the stator assemblies were made by Hitachi. So today I'm going to be showing you how you can test, by popular demand, I've been asked many times how you can test on ones off the 250s. So today is the day I'm going to do that. I just had one in for repair, so I thought before I send it back to the customer I'll give you a short video on how you can test your stator. If you'd like to check out my other videos, we'll tell you how to test the ones for the 400 Dreams and Superdreams. Now the 250s model Dreams and Superdreams and the 400 automatics had the Denso system fitted to it, which is different from the Hitachi ones that were fitted to the 400 Dreams, Superdreams and 450 DXs. Right, really it's a complete self-contained unit on those bikes. There's no wires that run through the wiring loom on it except for one that goes up to the ignition switch and the kill switch. So really the first thing you want to do is just find the CDI box on the side of the bike that's located underneath the tank. And this is what it looks like. It's a bit old and tattered, this one, but still functional. Now these, all in my 35 years of doing stators, I've never known a Denso box fail. These are robust, and they just don't go wrong. I'm not saying that's always the case, but anyway, what you want to do is find this box just to eliminate the wiring that goes up to the ignition switch and the kill switch. You want to find this lone black and white wire with a white tracer on it. Just find that wire. That one goes into the wiring loom which loops up to your ignition switch and your kill switch. First thing you want to do is disconnect that wire, because what that wire does is when you turn the ignition off or the ignition kill switch in the off position, basically that makes a contact to ground, therefore it grounds that out to the chassis, kills your ignition. So if you remove that, that isolates the rest of the wiring loom or the wiring that goes up to the ignition switch and the kill switch. So disconnect that. That will then isolate any other wiring on the bike. Okay, what I'll do is I'll bring the camera up a little bit closer so you can see the test procedures on them. I've got two here. One is off a CB250 and the same ones were fitted to the Dreams, the earlier ones. There are a few subtle differences between the years that they made them. Again, on the other video that I did, they changed the plug connector on this from 2 bullets on this white and blue wire. They changed it from bullets to a 2-pin connector. And there are some differences and a few other little differences they add on them. The later ones on the pickup, if you look at the pickup here, the external pickup, the later ones had 2 pips in it as opposed to just the one on the earlier ones. I've been told that you can fit the ones with the 2 pip pickup to the bikes that have the 1, but not the other way around. So you can't put an earlier one on a later bike. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm just going on information that I've read on the internet or blah blah blah. And this one here is off the 400 automatic, which also had the Denso system fitted to it. They are slightly different between the 250s and the 400s, and I'll show you what they are. Okay, I'll get the camera up a little bit closer so you can see what I'm rabbling on about. Right, okay, so here we have two stators. This one's off a 400 automatic, and this one's off a 250 Dream, Superdream, T, N, whatever you like to call it. As you can see, they're pretty similar, same design, same shape, everything else. There are some differences. The main visual difference is this one's been repaired. I've just done this one. Bloke had a fault with it. He tried to get it off, stuck a puller in the flywheel, and the flywheel turned as it ended up ripping the stators. But I've just done an isolated repair on these. The charging cores very rarely fail on these, so I've just repaired that one, and then just wired it into the rest of the charging system. He also took out that coil there, and I'll explain that one in a minute. So yeah, this is off the 400 automatic, and this one's off the 250 models. Right, as you can see, there is a few slight differences. I'll try and angle it in the same position so you can sort of identify. This one's well rusty. The inner pickup coils all rotted away on that. Common fault when moisture gets into them. After all, they were nearly 40 years old, these things. Right, so yeah, first thing on the 250s, that pole there is not wound, that pole there is not wound, and that one there is not wound. As you can see on the 400s, that one, and that one, or that one, and that one are wound. Also, the ignition side is different as well. The 250s, there's loads of coils on this bike. You've got the pickup coil, you've got the inner pickup, the outer pickup coil, you've got the inner pickup coil, you've got source coils here that charge for your ignition. Like I said, they are slightly different to the 400s, whereas the 400s have got only 2 source coils, whereas the 250s have got 3. That's the extra one on the 250. Basically, that one and that one are wired together in series. So when you do an ohms test, you're actually measuring the resistance from that coil through to that coil to ground. Whereas on the 400s, that's the only one that's being measured, is that one. I don't know why they did that on the 400s. Basically the readings are pretty much the same. It's just that that one's got a lot more turns on it, this one coil, which equals to the amount of turns on the 250 on that coil to that coil or through that coil. So that's your low speed source coils, just the one on that one on the 400, and then the high speed source coil is that one here, which is that one there, which we rewound that one on this. So there's the external pickup coil. I've never known those to fail, not through general use anyway, but this one I think has been clattered by the flywheel, so that one might be faulty anyway. And then you've got the inner pickup coil in here. Like I say, that one's all rusty and that one's in there. Now I have found some models, whether it's 250s or whatever, between 250s, that this inner pickup coil, sometimes the wire exits there on that side, and sometimes it exits there on that side. I don't know why, I don't know whether there's any difference or whatever, but like you say, on that one it exits on that side. So there's a slight difference on that. I don't think it makes any difference to the way the bike operates. So yeah, that's just another little thing that I've picked up over the years that has been slightly different on certain models. Right, so obviously you need to find the output wires. 3 yellows, just forget about those. That's for charging your battery. As I said in previous videos, there's loads of other information on YouTube you can get about charging. As I said in the other video, I can maybe get around to doing a charging video on bikes. So you need to get these two connectors here, the large one and then one with the two. Like I said, some models have bullet connectors on here as opposed to a 2-pin block connector. So yeah, you need to find that big one and that one there. Now I will say, these are the tests I do. I've been doing them for 30 odd years now on these bikes since they were made, and they give me the results I want, or more or less anyway. So yeah, whether it works for you, I hope it does. That's great. Generally, most of the time, they work for me. Pretty much all the time they work for me. So yeah, okay. Right. Grab yourself a multimeter, set it at 2K, 2000 ohms. First check. Like on the other video we did, you want to find that 2-pin block connector or bullet connectors on the early one. Oh, wires everywhere. First test you want to do is to test this main coil here, or as on the 250s, it's that coil there and that coil there. Like I said, they're wired in series. Now, get your probe, put it on the white wire that's in the connector, on the white pin, and put it to ground of the body. Now that one's reading around about 470 odd ohms, which is good. And then you want to test the low speed coil, the source coil, which is that one there, and it is that one there. So now you need to go between the blue and the white, and you should have around about 6 ohms on that. 7, that's good. Yeah, 6 ohms. So that one's showing that that one's good. So we go on to the other stator. This one looks like it's been around a bit. Even the plug connectors are a bit falling apart and the wiring's got all brittle. So again, first test we want to do is find the white wire and go to ground. Oops, I don't know whether you can see it on the tester. There we go. That one's only showing about 163. That one's way low. It's probably shorting out in one of those coils, that one or that one. Then go between the white and the blue. We're showing about 6 ohms on that. That's pretty good. So that one's showing that one's generally out. They very rarely fail, the high speed source coil. It's a thicker wire in there and there's not so many turns as there is on these two. Now you can, if you haven't got any reading at all, you might have a break somewhere in the wiring, but what you can actually do, if you look just down in the corner there, this is where the wire exits this coil and loops round onto that coil. Now you can sometimes, if you're lucky, get yourself a safety pin or something with a nice point on it, or if you've got a nice point on the probe, put one probe to ground and see if you can just pierce into that. And my eyesight ain't that very good. Pierce into that wire and you might be able to get a reading. I'm having a lot of luck, I did it earlier on. Here we go. See, that one's reading on about 170 ohms. So you're just testing just that coil there by doing that. You're not going through that one. But if you've got no reading at all, you can actually identify whether it's that coil at fault or that coil at fault, because the wire comes out, loops around, goes around that coil, and comes out. and it comes out on your white wire. And then this one, your 5 ohm, 6 ohm one, sorry, that one's actually wound between the white and the blue wire. You can actually test either side of those if you can locate them, but it's not really worth it if you're not getting any readings. But that's a way just to check the wiring through it. I'll put that one to one side. We don't really need that. We know that's faulty. That one needs to be rewound. So I'll just stick that out of the way and just concentrate on this one. So yeah, right, okay, we've tested that coil there. That one's good. And we've tested that one, and that one's good. Well, it should be, because I've just rewound these two coils on here. So now what you need to do is you need to check the external pickup coil. Now, on the 400 automatics, I don't know why they did it. Oh, let's go on to the 250s a minute. You'll find, let's go back to this one a minute. You'll find on this big block connector, you'll find that there's only 3 wires going into it on the 250s. That is because that the pickup coil on the 250s, the wire comes into it and then goes to ground. It goes to the ground, or the green wire in that block connector. But on the 400 automatics, for some reason they have 4 wires in this plug connector, which is between this orange and this brown wire. Now I don't know why that is, why they did that, but I've noticed on the 400 automatics that is the case, that one's got 4 wires in there, and that's between the orange and the brown. So the pickup is isolated from ground, but on the 250s the 1 wire comes in and goes to ground. So to test that external pickup, grab that big block connector again, stick the probe on the orange and the brown, and you should have around about 140 odd ohms on that, so that's pretty good. Now on the 250s, like I said, they've only got the one connection in there that goes to ground. I'll just bring that back up. That was actually the pale blue, if you can actually see it, which is really grubby on that. And that one's tested between, have I got it right? I think so. I mean, you've got a job to see the colours on it. And the green wire. And that one's showing around about 130 odd, 140 ohms, which is showing that pickup's good, although it looks like been through a milling machine. So yeah, that's the differences between the 250 and the 400 automatics. Right, so that shown that the external pickup coil is good. Now there's one more coil on it, and that's the high speed pickup coil, which is this horseshoe shaped one here on that 251. Is all rotten. I'll probably end up replacing that. I've got some second hand ones I can stick on there and rewind. So that one comes in on this, there's a red wire on there, or pink, or whatever you like to call it, and that's wound to ground. So find the pink wire, which if you've got the tab at the top is the bottom left there. Stick your probe in there and on that pink wire. That one goes to ground. You should be looking at around about that sort of figure. for the high-speed pickup. So that's really how you can test your stator. As I said earlier, these tests aren't conclusive. Now, I've had these readings sort of on the nail before. The customer said they check out okay, the readings, and the bike's still not sparking, or it runs like a bag of poo. It doesn't mean to say it's still not faulty. I've had them here, rewound them, sent them back, and the customer said it's running a treat now. So if you do get the readings, it doesn't always mean to say that it's not faulty. However, if you're getting readings like we had on that 250 stator, you can pretty much guarantee the bike is not going to run and it's not operating properly. So yeah, hopefully that's a way you can test your stator on these. Like I said, there are some differences between the 400 automatics, between that and the 250s, Dreams and Superdreams. So yeah, great stuff. But yeah, this one's pretty good actually. Don't seem usually coming in as clean as that. Well, I hope that made sense. I'll put a screenshot of you know, a table of readings of what they should be. These are one of our most popular alternators we do. Probably get a couple in a week. Surprising how many people are still riding these old bikes and restoring them and whatever. Don't get the 400 automatic ones in so often, because I don't think Honda sold so many of those. They did the 250s. I remember back in the early 80s, everybody was riding a 250 Superdream, and I mean, after all, these things are like 40 years old almost now. Well, they are, some of them, and they're still going strong, and it's great to see it. I love these old bikes, you know, and going back to that era, I suppose we're all having a midlife crisis on some of these machines, you know, all wanting to buy them up and get back out on and live the dream again. Funny enough, you get back out on these bikes and you think, oh yeah, it's as good as it ever used to be, but don't know, it was great to see them though, and it's great to keep them back on the road, and I try and do my best to help people out to do that. Yeah, anyway, again, cut to the chase. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it made sense. If it doesn't, just ping me an email or make a comment and I'll do my best to answer it. We've got some real crappy weather here over in England. It's really windy at the moment, so I've got to get down in the workshop and do some more work. I've got a load of alternators turned up this week. A gas one, YZ250, CBR125, ZX6R, KE175, GSX 1400, and the list goes on. But I'll get and do some videos on some of them as well when I get a chance. But anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe, visit my website bbikeshop.co.uk, and enjoy yourself, and we'll catch up with you again some other time. Thanks for watching. Ta-da.